Let's
be accountable.
Let's drill down to transitions.
Yes.
In the Fourth Republic, it's been chaotic.
Yes.
Especially when it's from one party to the other. And we even have a Transitions Act.
Yes.
845.
Yes.
2012. It still seems not to have solved the problems. It seems to have created some process, put in place some process, put in place some way of doing things. But we still have a lot of issues. For example, why are you making appointments at this time?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you making payments at this time? Why are people being promoted at this time? Why are you taking such decisions at this time? And especially when under the Transition Act,
yes,
the Joint Transition Team has been formed, then the chaos also escalates to another level. So you have a situation where in the morning, this side of the transition team, the President-elect's Transition Team issues a statement. In the afternoon, the side of the incumbent, the President, also issues a statement to say no. Why do we have this chaos and how do we deal with it?
Well, I'm a student of transition, try to read and understand transitions, not only in Ghana, but, internationally. And I would say immediately that what you are putting forward is all going to end tomorrow. It's going to take quite a bit of time. The U.S. has been in existence for how long? 300 years or something like that. They've had to deal with these challenges all over the years. I mean, some of their challenges were terrible, horrible. Literally like fights between presidents and whatnot. In 1963, they passed a law, the Presidential Transition Act, which influences our 2012 transition. So you try to create a guideline to enable the process to be fulfilled, so that smooth and orderly transfer of power. But you are talking about human beings dealing with it. You talked about issues of appointments, recruitment, heavy ticket pay, like contracted big sums of money are being paid out hurriedly during the transition period. We talk about assets transfer, and in some cases, assets being sold to appointees themselves. You come to work or you come to purchase, state assets, sale of these assets to appointees. There are so many problems. Cars, the bungalows they live in. There are questions. Should cars be sold to appointees? Should bungalows be sold to? Should the lands be sold to appointees? It's a whole list of things. These are challenges like in the year 2000 I faced as chief of staff. 2009.
Yeah, 2009.
You took over. Yeah. I read 2 complaints. They're exactly the same, and we haven't been over to. But these are issues we flag. And we try to scale over, The current transitional team, for instance, I sit in, as technical person. I think they've done a lot of good, but still, the human factor is still there, But we, at a point in time, we may need amendments, legal statutory amendments to improve the system. For instance, President Akufo-Addo recently wrote a letter last December ordering all the ministers to park their cars by January 3rd. You get me? So that you don't, you must walk away without your car. That ends one of the questions that's been on since 2000. Should a minister go home with a car, or should a minister not go home with a car? It's one of the things which has created this conflict between NDC and NPP. These are the challenges, what you are talking about. They we can't understand each other. But now we say, you can't, fulfilling, or defining clearly for all times. Now the issue of can a building be sold to, the occupant? These are all matters. I wish we were able to do a little more, come to a greater conclusion to this. But like I said, it's a human thing. We just started, 30 years ago.
30 years.
30 years in a constitutional regime, it's a short period. But I think that, like I said, we can do more. And then where we are having problems, probably use the law to say amend Act 845. I mean, there's the presidential transition law to say that when you are going away, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this. And particularly, generally, the world over, when you are leaving office, during transition time, you don't do certain things. These are by convention. You don't take big decisions. Because
there are people who say that the framers of the 1992 Constitution expected leaders, presidents, and other people in leadership to act in a statesman-like manner. And so they gave a lot of discretionary power. But we've seen this discretionary power abused in this Fourth Republic to the point that it appears that we must legislate for everything.
That's exactly what
which I believe is you cannot legislate for everything.
Yes.
But we must learn as a society. We must learn. At least we can learn from others. I believe we still have, but there seems to be some improvement from the first transition.
The 2000-2001 one.
You see, there's been some improvement looking at what is happening now. And also, at times we listen to our supporters. And the coup mentality is still with a lot of us. There's a change of government. Appears it's a coup which has removed everybody, everything. And therefore, everything must go. Everybody must go. And this is something, especially the two major parties should learn and educate their members that a change of government does not mean a coup d'etat, where soldiers come in and destroy everything. Because once we decided to go this way, there's always bound to be a change of government. And also, as my brother said, people must learn. You see, and I think you also said it, you were president of the nation, you are going out in 2 weeks. If there's really need to appoint somebody, I think the best thing is to consult the ones who come to take over, to seek his opinion. If he says no, the right thing for you to do is to leave it. Because maybe you have 1 month to leave the scene. And he's come to work with that person for 4 years. But unfortunately, we as a people not learning. And I believe if we want to legislate for everything, then we may have maybe
but
they are the lawyers.
What do you say to the people who say that because we have demonstrated that we are not learning, because we have demonstrated that the framers of the Constitution were wrong to give us discretionary power, believing that we will apply common sense, then we should as well legislate?
No, but just a minute. I think that they need to enhance the Act 845, the presidential transfer. But more importantly, there's also the need to add some sanctions to it. You see, the handing over notes must be submitted within a month before. And so in America, the handing over notes are submitted 6 months before. So we're able to...
Does the law prescribe how the handing over notes must be done?
Yes.
Because you hear issues. For example, this transition. I hear some of the people in transition say that the notes they brought us did not include this. It was when we asked them questions. And some of the information are pieces of information that should not be lost out in a handing over note.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, that the section 6 or so of the law indicates what you should put in.
Yes.
You see. But the returns from the exiting government will be shortfall. There's a shortfall. If you bring me results of vehicles for the exiting government as at February 2024, there's a shortfall of 8 months. You understand? What happens? There's a period, more cars or whatnot to be purchased. You understand? So, but if you don't have time, if you have the 1 month and even the handing over notes have not come in, how do you examine it? You see, that's where the tension is. You know, people come on, where are these? Where are this? And you feel uncomfortable. Then you have, you know, foot soldiers who say, you know, like the casa, if you are not getting, we'll go and retrieve them. You know, so it's a question of enforcement. It's also, but clearly there's a need for legislation to improve.
Yes. You see, I believe we forget even the more important issues in the handing over.
Yes.
We think looking at, say, for cars and things of that nature. These are not very important. The ministries should be able to give you comprehensive handing over of what they have done, where they are, what projects are in the pipeline, what have been done. These are more important than these vehicles and whatnot. Well, because if you take a vehicle, people will know that this is a public vehicle. Yeah. You may keep it for about 2 months, but somebody will go and report that he's hiding a vehicle somewhere, and it will be retrieved from you, and it will be in a more disgraceful way. But the important things are what are happening in the ministries, what work is being done, where is the stage of the project. If there are monies for this, how much has been spent? If there are no monies, how are you going to complete the job we have started? These are so important, and we seem to forget these things and go on around talking on things which I believe are not too very important, you know. And I don't know if the transition teams are looking at these issues. These are very important issues. I believe we have a problem as a people. There's no doubt about that. We have a problem as a people. But I think we can, if, like we are discussing it here, if it becomes something which the society, or especially you in the press, take this up and keep on talking about things, I think we'll be able to make some effort to change it. But if we keep quiet over these things, then we have too many laws. Even you take what is happening in Ghana. There are so many laws which we don't enforce. So we may put the laws there, but we still cannot enforce. So education is very important. I believe education is very important. Let's educate ourselves. Let's believe that we are one nation. We are building a nation. One government goes, the government should follow up on what the government has started, so that we continue to build a good nation.
So sometimes it's also about the issue of principles than education. I say this because on this show about 2 weeks ago, I put a letter signed by Mr. Safumafu, then for the President-elect's transition team in 2016, saying that, look, you should not be making appointments, even including civil service appointments, MMDAs, some of those appointments you want to make, and some constitutional bodies. You shouldn't be making those appointments. There are payments that you shouldn't be making. They should be run by the President-elect's team. You know, if the thing is emergency in nature, you need to discuss it with us, for all of us to agree that it is an emergency issue that can't wait and should be done. So you have this position of, let's say, a President-elect in 2016. And then 2024, you have the same transition where now the President-elect is the President. And then the President then is President-elect. And you have a fight over the same issues. The principles that were held 8 years ago are no longer tenable for both sides.
As a people, we are not principled. Don't look at the principles, you know. I mean, for example, if you're talking of don't make appointments, fine, it's all right. But in some cases, for example, if you take the public service, some people might have attended interviews at the Public Service Commission, and they have recommended them for maybe appointments. It may be sitting on the president's desk for all these months. So if the president is leaving and such public appointments are made, I don't think it should be a problem. Just the incoming, this is what happened. Just list them. This is what happened. they recommend.
So give them a briefing.
A briefing of it.
Yes.
That's very important. Just let them know what you have done. It's extremely important. If you don't let them know, it appears like you are doing new appointments. New appointments, forget them, because a new regime is coming in. Leave them to appoint new people. But some of them might have been on the desk of the president for quite a time, and he believes he must maybe sign them before he leaves. So important is for two of them to work. Tell them whatever you are doing, so that they will know what they are coming to meet. If you don't tell them, then you have this problem.
Yeah, I would just 1 minute say that, you see, things must be done properly. We must institutionalize things. You see, that's the problem we are facing. We have a law. Who is enforcing the law? Who is ensuring that it happens? There is an administrator general.
Yeah,
don't even know about that. It works to the office of the chief of staff. At that place, it's got lost. Maybe we should look at the reporting mechanism for the administrator general to report to Parliament, because the Administrator General, has so many powers. He must keep a register of assets, state assets. They must have to know this car is here, that property is here, everything. Two, the Administrator General at the same time has power to inspect the residences of the incoming president before he comes into office.
And this is the law.
It is the law.
It's in the law.
And then after the president, the existing president is going out, he has a power to inspect the office and then slap him with what they call bills if he destroys or does not maintain. These are things that they are there. So it's not like a president is infallible or that cannot be supervised or superintended. There's a system, but we haven't activated it so much. They must fund it. It's a very important institution of state, and I think that is where the bottom line is. They can make laws or rules sent to Parliament for Parliament to approve as to the methodology for performing their function. It is important that we announce and give the functions of the, what do you call it?
Administrator General.
Under the Act 845. Yes, it is very, very important.